What up, my dudes? Tom Bennett here, and we're gonna do another vlog style. I've been really vibing these to the early season, and today's topic, I want to talk about how the heck you just get better at snowboarding. There's a lot of little tips and tricks throughout this video, so make sure you stay tuned through the end of it, because my goal for this channel is to make you as awesome as possible, and that's what we're talking about today. So before we dive into that, let's go get warmed up, let's go feel good, do some tricks, and then let's talk about getting you more awesome. All right, let's do it. The first thing about being more awesome at snowboarding is understanding the fundamentals. That means stance, edge control, pressure management, and balance. I do have a video down below that's gonna talk about that in more detail, but if you have awesome fundamentals, it's gonna allow you to be in a better body position more often. That's gonna increase your chances of either increasing your performance or landing more. So when I was an athlete, I was constantly falling until I really identified my weaknesses and my lack of a good stance in fundamentals. Then all of a sudden, I started landing more tricks. When I started landing more tricks, I was more confident in my riding. More importantly, I was willing to push my boundaries a little bit more because I knew I could land more often, right? So that was really nice. So really focus on your fundamentals. Once this video is over, check out the video down below because it is a very good video about the stance and it can change your snowboarding as it changed my snowboarding. Now, let's go snowboard, let's go vibe, let's go feel good, and then talk some more. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about in this video, but I do want to hop into one of the most important bullet points that I have for snowboarding in general. When it comes to being a better snowboarder, setting your standards higher is going to make you a better snowboarder, but more importantly, it's also going to lead to better skills as well as be a lot safer. Now, what I'm talking about is, let's say that I'm doing a 360 and I happen to skid 90 degrees on the ground. I jump up in the air and I turn a little bit, then I land on the ground and I skid another 90 degrees. Well, that is not proper, nor is it setting the expectation high enough. Now, coming from a coach, this is extremely important because if you learn a 360, if you learn it properly, you're gonna be able to take that from flat ground to a side hit, to a small jump, 10 feet, to a 30 foot, 40 foot, 50 foot, and a 60 foot jump. If you're able to learn the technique properly in the beginning, you're gonna be able to carry that throughout the rest of your career. There is so much of the standards that you guys should be living up to be able to progress further faster, as well as keep yourself safe. Now, there's a lot of content out there that may be cheating. One of the best ways to know if you've done it properly or not is to film it. If I'm doing a 360, did I rotate 360 degrees in the air? Did I clear this jump and land without adding a bunch of unnecessary spins? If you end up adding a bunch of unnecessary spins, it also could lead to catching an edge when you really didn't have to. So keeping the standard high is gonna make you a better snowboarder in the long run, and you're gonna thank me later. Within this video, I cannot dive in 100% into what is culturally acceptable, what is not, what is proper, what is not. I will be making a whole nother video on that, because at the end of the day, I wanna make you guys as awesome as possible, and I wanna make sure that you guys are representing snowboarding, because that's like the whole thing, is to make you guys better, and I need to lead you guys down the right path. So in another video, I'm gonna be talking about what is soggy on a rail, what is zeech, what is tindy, what are all these things that are frowned upon within the snowboard community and being less proper. So subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna go pretty in depth on that. Well, there are times where I've told you guys to do 90 degrees, hop, and essentially use it as a stepping stone. That's very different than claiming a trick and saying that it's proper when you're using it as a stepping stone. The stepping stone's totally okay. But if you're going like 360 and you do a 270 and skid, cool, that can help you get the 360, but that's not fully a 360, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to say we have to be proper all the time, because there's a point where you gotta learn how to do this stuff, and there's times where we're not perfect. I totally get that. But being able to claim it and saying it's awesome, I just wanna make sure we're understanding where that's at. Now, additionally, like I said, this comes from a coaching background. If you're in a competition, you're doing a lot of the things I'm about to say, you get a deduction in your score because it's not as awesome. So if you ever wanted to compete, I wanna set the standard high for you guys so you guys know what to expect. So the next talking point is working on your weaknesses. Now, whatever time of year it is, there's so much opportunity to work on your weaknesses. During the early season, limited terrain, you're feeling a little rusty, totally cool, get the rust off, and then you have an opportunity to work on some switch carving, switch riding, switch ollies, nose presses, tail presses, whatever your weaknesses are, you can find a way to improve them. Now, in the middle of the season, I've gone as far as just riding like complete day switch, which would include switch chairlift rides, hitting every single feature I can within my ability, switch. So I'd switch onto a rail, switch onto a box, switch carving, switch playfulness, and just working on my weaknesses. If I can work on my weaknesses, I'm gonna be a better snowboarder because I put my body in different situations and I know how to adapt. Now that becomes very useful when you're doing bigger tricks, riding crazier pow lines, when you're hitting trees, whatever your desired snowboard style is, working on your weaknesses is gonna make you a better snowboarder quicker. And of course, if you're like, well, I'm really bad at carving, what you can do is go over to YouTube, type in Tommy Bennett carve, Tommy Bennett switch, and I most likely have a video. If I don't, comment down below and let me know what video I should make. I'm gonna interrupt real quick, my dudes. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel at all, consider picking up a sticker. These stickers are super awesome because when I see you out there, and like we have this connection, and I'm gonna give you a high five because like you're supporting, and that's really cool, and it makes me extremely humbled and thankful. Also, 10% of all sticker sales are gonna go to protect our winters. So at the end of the season, we're gonna make a donation to those guys and help with saving our winters, right? That's the whole thing. We're gonna protect them. So back to the show, my dudes. The next bullet point for you guys is ride with somebody new. Now, why this is important is because they're gonna go on new runs, new terrain. They have a different perception of the world when it comes to the mountain. I don't ride super fast, go straight down. I love to go to the side hits and jib and then carve and then play. And if somebody were to follow me, that may be very different than what they're used to. Now on the flip side, I'm gonna go follow somebody who likes to go fast and hit gaps and send it. Now that pushes my ability to get out of the comfort zone in a very like indirect way, right? It's so fun. So ride with new people and have a good time and explore something new. Woo! And it's funny because I love doing nose blocks, but Sean does tail block. So for him to get in the like comfort zone, he's got to do a 180 into block. Now that makes me want to go try that. Thanks, Sean. So as you just saw there, what I was trying to do is utilize the terrain to get better at snowboarding. I know that front boards are super hard, and I know for my own riding, I gotta shift my weight over my lead binding more. Well, as the side of the run falls off to the side, I can get my tail to hang out over the edge as if I'm actually on a rail, but the consequences are pretty mellow if you choose the right place. So utilize the terrain to help you. You can use side hits to help with the front three, 180, back three, whatever it is. Utilize the terrain to get better. I'm a big fan. And also understanding, utilize facilities. There are places like Woodward or Mount Hood in the summer when I run summer camp, they have airbags. There's so many facilities that you can use, but utilize the terrain. And on a POW day, you can build a jump and do backflips because it's relatively safe. So definitely utilize what you have to your advantage. But that may also mean you need to be a little creative. So check out my Instagram. If you guys are looking for inspiration on little tricks and tips on how to be awesome at individual tricks and that kind of thing, very short form, it's a good time. Now, one of the biggest ways to improve your snowboarding is feedback. How do you know if you're doing something right or wrong? Well, there's a couple options. You can help yourself by filming your own tricks and seeing, am I making it proper as we discussed earlier? But am I falling? If I am falling, try to figure out why. If I'm going too big, figure out why. If I miss something, figure out why. But there's another option. When it comes to feedback, getting somebody to give you feedback is extremely important. I'm a snowboard coach. I only make content 1 to maybe 2 days a week, and my full-time job is coaching people because my job is to expedite their experience and their tricks and their learning process. So the more feedback you can get with somebody who knows what they're talking about is an extremely important thing. Now you could find a snowboard instructor, snowboard coach, a friend who has a lot of information, but sometimes you get a lot of information out there that's maybe not so accurate, maybe not so awesome. So definitely listen to people, but be cautious who you listen to. Sometimes they have good advice, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're really good at just saying stuff and it may not make sense. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have to figure it out. But if you're interested in getting coached by me, then come join my camp. The link is gonna be down in the description below, where you get to work with me and a group of like-minded people and improve and focus on improving your snowboard. Well, come to camp. Then you can work with me and I'll vibe and help you become more of an awesome snowboarder. So on that note, we're gonna go ride, we're gonna go vibe just as we always do, because I do this because it's fun. All right guys, we're vibing. And the last one, and obviously a lot of you guys know about this, the more practice that you get, the better you're gonna be. If I get snowboard 5 days a year, it's really hard to practice all the fine little things, especially when I just wanna go have fun. But if I'm able to snowboard 200 days a year, and that doesn't mean 200 runs, I might do 10, 20 runs a day. That's a lot of opportunity to work on your switch riding, regular riding. Oops, I accidentally discovered something different, right? You give yourself a lot of opportunity. So a little bit of advice on getting practice is, if you're not snowboarding every day, you can definitely get some time in the gym and work on your mobility, your strength, and your coordination, which is gonna help. Also trampolines, skateboard, snowboard addiction bars where you can hop on and work on stuff. You can literally strap your snowboard on outside or in your living room and go jib on a tire on a couch cushion, just not your mom's nice couch cushion, maybe one from the dollar store, but give yourself an opportunity to just get familiar with your board, the combination, the vibe, and do that. But ultimately, if you can actually snowboard more, that's gonna play the most. That's gonna play the biggest significance in your snowboarding is just riding more. I will be making a whole nother video on how the heck do I snowboard 200 days a year and what are some good job options / how do I make this a reality. So subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna be doing that. And if you liked any of these or you found this video useful at all, give it a thumbs up. And if you feel like I missed something super important, or you just want to have a discussion, comment down below and let's get the conversation started. So on that note, guys, nothing but love. We out.